glorious creator of the light, who makes the day with radiance bright, and to the forming world did call, the light from chaos first of all.
Well, that's an interesting question. I took Friar Dominic after Saint Dominic, the patron of astronomers. I'm not an astronomer in any way, shape, or form, just in case you wanted to know. I do love astronomy very much, and I do like to go outside and look at the stars, etc., etc. But Saint Dominic is just an amazing saint. And as I was reading about Saint Dominic and I was learning about his life, especially inquiring into the lay Dominican order, and hopefully, God willing, become an actual lay Dominican member, at least of the lay Dominican order, preparing for profession. Um, Reading his life and just sort of contemplating on him, and really what I want to do with my own life as as an evangelist, it's just sort of to fit. I wasn't planning on at first using the name of Friar Dominic, or using any type of code, like secret name to hide my true identity type deal. But then I read about Pier Giorgio, and Pier Giorgio, in case you don't know, is a lay Dominican that lived from roughly 1901 to 1925. And he was an amazing saint. He was an amazing saint. He gave to the poor. He had a great love for the poor, even whenever he was a small child. And this most beautiful saint, this man of the eight Beatitudes, when he entered the Dominican order, he used his name of Friar Dramo, or Friar Jerome, in all of his ministry, so that no one would really know who he was. So when he gave money out to the poor, no one would know that he was, actually Pier Giorgio Frassati, the son of the great Frassati family who owned La Stampa inside of Italy, in Italy at the time. He used his name of Friar Drama. And in my own reflection, I decided that I wanted to mimic and imitate Pier Giorgio as well in that regard by not letting people know who I am out into the secular world. Another side of it is that I die to myself, that Christ should live in me, and by doing that, taking on that secret name, that religious name, to use in my ministry, however you want to put it, that's important because it allows me to work without people knowing who I am. So hopefully they'll give the glory to God that I've decided to give my whole life in the ministry and to the church. So that's sort of the reason why I chose the name of Friar Dominic. I'm not a friar in any way, shape, or form. Hopefully I'll be a lay Dominican, a member of the lay Dominican order here in the next coming months as I prepare myself for reception. But I'm not there yet. But that's besides the point. The point is not the fact that I use the name. The point is the fact that how I use the name. And the name is used primarily so that people may know the glory of God. And they may know His truth. Now, some would say, okay, well, you can use your regular secular name and do the same thing. But I think Pier Giorgio had it right. Without it, almost seems like in some cases that if people know who you are, then they know who you are. And then whenever they see you, then it's kind of a big deal. But if people know you by Friar Dominic, in my case, and I go into a parish and I say my name's Adam Cook, okay, or Joe Schmo, or any other name other than Jesse or Stephen or anything, then they're not going to know that I am Friar Dominic. And maybe one day I will, be sitting inside of a pew somewhere, and someone will say, "Hey, have you heard about this Friar Dominic fella? He's a really awesome guy." And hopefully, if I do have that opportunity one day, I'll be able to pipe in really quickly and say, "Yeah, he does it all for the glory of God," and request nothing in return.
And even name them day. Night comes with all its darkest fears. Regard your people's prayers and tears.